Hey guys, welcome back to Bait and Tackle. Today we're going to talk about the different types of injectors, and today I'm only going to be looking at 3 different types of injectors. We're going to be looking at the Do-It Mold injector, which is this one right here. We're going to be looking at the Bass Tackle injector, and this is part of my triple injector. And then we're also going to talk about the Lure Craft injector. So I hope you guys find this video informative. I'm just going to kind of go through a little bit of each one and kind of explain the pros and the cons to each one. And then you guys can kind of decide for yourself which one you think you'd rather have. Now I've got my personal preferences, but this again is for you guys so that it can help you better understand and better pick out the injector that you want. So let's go. So the first thing I want to show you guys is I'm going to mix up my plastic. I moved a bunch of plastic over to a 5-gallon bucket, and I've added a bunch of hardener. I was having some issues with the plastic being too soft, and I mainly use floating plastic, but I'm switching over to some slow sinking plastic, and I'm trying to experiment with different types of plastic now as well. So I mainly use that on plastic, but I'm going to try some of the I got this sample pack of bait plastics, so I'm going to try those. And I've tried some other ones in the past, like the Lure Craft and all those other ones, and they were pretty good. But this seems to have helped my issues with the plastic being too soft. So I'm just going to go ahead and mix it up. And you can see it mixing right there. So I'm going to get this all mixed up, and then I'm going to pour a cup, and we're going to do some injection with the 3 different types of injectors. Okay guys, so we just got our plastic out of the vacuum chamber, and we're going to go ahead and add some heat stabilizer to it, so it doesn't get too dark on us or doesn't, turn yellow. I know plastic likes to turn yellow a lot when you heat it up too much. What we're going to do is we're going to try to get it to 350. And this color, for what I'm doing, I'm just going to do a clear with some silver flake. And that should at least get us just on the board with how we're going to use these injectors, because I'm going to do each one individually. We've got a couple little ripper molds here. We're going to do 2 of those. We're going to do 3 of these, and all I'm going to do is just do, maybe I'll use one injector on these and then another injector on these, and then we'll go back again and do it with this one. Then that way you get a good understanding of which one you'll like to use. Okay, plastic's at about 350. I'm going to go ahead and put a bunch of silver flake in this. Should be plenty. I'm going to stir this up. We've got quite a bit of air bubbles again, so I think what I'm going to do is run this in the vacuum chamber one more time. Yeah, that's perfect. Right amount of silver flake. Mix that up good, and then we'll put it back in the vacuum chamber for a little bit. Okay, so we did the vacuum chamber on this plastic. I'm going to go ahead and shoot these ripper molds. And with these Do-It ripper molds, it helps to have a little bit of an angle and to not go too fast. But this is what I want to show you. This is the Do-It mold injector, and I'm not a fan because this pops off way too easy, and the aluminum is really, really thin, so it gets really hot really fast. So I'm just going to go ahead and shoot these 2, and I always bleed off a little bit because there's always some air in there. And then we're going to nice and slowly inject these so we don't get any air bubbles or dimples in the bait. So go ahead and do this one. And these are pretty small, so okay. Now when you're squeezing the plastic back into your cup, this is what happens, and I'm going to show you. the top pops off too easy sometimes, and it'll go down inside your cup like that. And you don't really want that, because now you got to fish this thing out of liquid hot plastic, and then you've got to set it off to the side somewhere so that it'll dry, it'll cool down, and you can peel the plastic off of it. So that's kind of a con to me. So really, this popping off, and then right now this is steaming hot. So really you should be wearing gloves doing this anyway, but because this one is such a thin-walled aluminum, you really can't even hold it. I mean, it's terrible. It gets way too hot. So that's kind of my take on the Do It injectors. It's nice and light. That's kind of nice. Keeps the plastic hot, so I guess that's kind of a good thing. But really, this popping off too easy and it being too hot, it kind of puts it out of the running for me. So I'll let you guys make your own decision on that one. Okay, next we're going to do the bass tackle injector. This one has a head on it that actually, and I'm not sure if you can see that, hopefully it'll zoom in, focus it enough to do that, but see that? It's got this little tab right here. It actually twists to the side, then pulls out, and it's nice and snug, so it's not going to come out on you. So that's really nice. The aluminum on these is a lot thicker than the Do It ones. So we're going to go ahead and shoot this one. We're going to go ahead and bleed it off, just like I always bleed off the air. I think we're ready. Again, same thing, nice and slow. These you want to have tilted. And this injector is pretty hard to push down. I'm not sure why, but it's very difficult to push down. I don't know if it's just because it's built so tight, and maybe over time it'll loosen up on its own. And I have lubed it up quite substantially just to make sure that it won't do that. But for whatever reason, it's tough. But again, when you're squeezing the plastic back in here, you don't have to worry about the tip falling off and going in the container. It's not too bad. It gets warm, but it's not terrible. Like, you could actually touch it if you wanted to. But again, like I'd say, I'd recommend always using gloves wearing these anyway. But it's so much easier being able to pop that off and then squeeze out the rest when it gets too cold, or when it gets too yeah, when it cools down, and you can pop that top off and put it back in the container. So there's those two, and I'm going to have to reheat up some plastic, and we'll come back, and I'm going to do the last one, the lower craft injector. Now, I just squeezed all the plastic out of the bass tackle injector, and I just wanted to show you guys real quick. So that's the top popped out, and this is the actual, it's got a double gasket on it. So that's why it makes it so tight on the actual pushing the injector. But quality-wise, excellent quality. But you're going to pay for these. They're pretty expensive compared to some of the other ones. And I'll give you a rundown of some prices too. Okay, so the plastic's ready. I want to show you guys this injector real quick. This is the Lure Craft injector. Now, the Lure Craft injector is very thick aluminum. It has a screw top. You can see the wall. See how thick that wall is. And it's got one gasket, not two like the bass tackle one, but as long as you lube these up real good, they work really well. This is my favorite just because the tip stays on. You got to unscrew it off. I really like the durability, and the heat absorption on these isn't as bad. So I mean, they still get hot, especially after you do a couple of injections. But they're really a great injector, and I have multiple sizes of these too. So this is a small one. I think this is like a 2 ounce. So for these, it's kind of nice. I'm not sure how many I'm going to be able to do out of this injector. That's probably going to be it right there. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Do It one again, just as an example, just to fill them up. But again, with the Lurecraft one, you don't get, the top doesn't come off. It's screw-on, which I kind of like for the durability. I believe they're a little bit cheaper than the Bass Tackle ones. The Bass Tackle ones are probably the most expensive, but again, quality is what you're going to pay for. So this is my favorite because it's not that expensive and it's durable and the heat is great. Like I can pick this up right now and it's not bad. Like you should still wear gloves, like I said, but and then this one, kind of the same thing. It's pretty thick wall aluminum, just like the Lurecraft one is, but you pay for the quality. You get nice etched in aluminum on both sides. Somebody took some time and actually built this really nice. Dual gaskets on the inside for the pusher so that you don't get any plastic down in the chamber behind it. So this is really, really heavy duty quality. They really thought this out. This one is more your economic version of the good one, and then this one is just straight up the cheapest one you can buy that you could do your injection with if you want to. But again, keeping it cool is very disheartening for me because you got to keep it cool, and it's really hot right now. Like I can't even hold it too long because it's so hot. So that's just something to think about with these, and I will give you some prices about where they start at for price-wise for each one of these. There's different sizes for all these. This is the smallest Lurecraft one. I'm not sure if Bass Tackle makes a smaller one than this or not. They might, but I'll give you the price ranges, and then the Do It ones come in different sizes as well. Alright guys, well that's going to wrap it up for today. I just wanted to give you guys a good overview of 3 different types of injectors. There are different other types of injectors out there. I have never experienced them before. If you have any tips for even me, I'm always experiencing new things and finding new companies to try and everything like that. So please let me know if there's any other ones out there that you guys recommend to me that I could try. But so far right now, I think Lurecraft is my favorite. But the Bass Tackle ones are really nice too. They're just a little expensive. So depending on your budget, depending on what you want, you may want to just go ahead and get the Do It mold ones, which are a little bit cheaper. They're a lot hotter and they're harder to keep cool, so you're going to have to slow down your injection process. But it works, right? If you need to, you need to. But again, if any of you guys have any suggestions for me, please comment down below. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. We're getting up there. We're over like 330 subscribers. I'd like to get to 500. If we get to 500, I'd like to do another really big giveaway of all sorts of different tackle products. We're going to do some lead products and some plastic products, a bunch of different stuff. So hit that subscribe button and let's get to 500. Thanks for watching, and remember, keep on baiting.